Hi, I'm Jessica Smith and I work for Bland's Nursery in West Jordan, Utah. And today we're talking all about trees and shrubs. Right now we're discussing how to prune a fruit tree. There are different ways to prune a fruit tree. There's your modified central leader. This is where you leave that main leader, the long branch that runs up from the top, and then you space your scaffold branches in between that time. Common practices for that is for apple trees, pear trees, and even apricots. For an open central pruning practice or a vase, this is where you actually take the main leader off and you leave 3 to 4 balanced branches around that. That's going to actually let sunlight in and air flow through. That's your most common practice that your fruit tree growers use. That's very common practice with your nectarines and your peaches. Now with cherries, they don't like pruning as much as other trees, so it's real important that you start when they're younger with thinning out and lightening out the branches and stuff like that. They don't heal as quickly as other types of trees. Now on peaches or nectarines, they actually will fruit off of second year wood. And what second year wood is what grew the year before throughout the season is going to have your fruit on it the following year. Now pruning practices actually encourage a lot more product, a lot more fruit. It actually is going to give you a better quality fruit. It helps with overall health of the plant. Rule of thumb is make sure you always take off your dead or diseased branches, or anything that's been damaged. That only encourages pests. Now, to tell on your peaches or your nectarines what your second year wood is here, this is what grew this year, and we'll have our fruit next year. You can see that the second year wood right here is reddish in color. This is what's going to have your fruit next year. And even though you're going to kind of prune some of this back because you don't want a really heavy branch on it, because peaches and nectarines can tend to weigh down with the fruit. Make sure you also thin your fruit. That's number one too for a good quality fruit. On all of your fruit, you're going to want to actually take off some of the fruit production each year, because in reality, how much fruit can you actually eat? That's an easy way to tell on your nectarines and peaches as to where your fruit's going to come next year. Now over here, like on apples and pears, they actually will fruit off of 3 to 4 year old wood, and then off of that you'll get your little spurs, short little spurs, these fat little branches at the end. That is going to have your fruit. And what you make sure that you also thin out this fruit, because they can become also very heavy, and your fruit will actually suffer in its quality if you leave all of it on there. So you'll pick off a few of the fruits and leave just 1 or 2 on each of those spurs each year. And branches that are loaded with too much fruit will actually tend to bend down, and they could actually break, causing a lot more problems in the long run. You prune. Most of your major pruning is done in the late dormant season to early spring. Now on summer pruning, you're going to have to do some summer pruning. If you have, again, any of your dead, dying, diseased, or broken branches, you always take care of them immediately, and then clean your tools afterwards, because if you're dealing with a fungal or bacteria problem, those spores can live on your tools itself. And then real common with apples and pears, they get these long shoots that seem to just appear out of anywhere, really quick growing ones. You'll want to remove those also. You can do that in the summertime, or any water sprouts at the base or suckers.